Kathleen on the phone from Manchester, New Hampshire. Go ahead.
Hi. I had a quick question. When I have an orgasm, sometimes I expel like copious amounts of fluid. I've heard of female ejaculation before, but is this normal to ejaculate so much?
Yes. I mean, here's the thing. You are talking about female ejaculation, and when they've looked at it, they used to think it was urine. When they've looked at it, under a microscope and analyzed it, it's not urine. It is, they think, fluid from the Skene's glands, which is sort of the equivalent of the prostate gland in men. And the studies have been really interesting because they've indicated that actually all women ejaculate during orgasm, but the majority of women for whom it doesn't come out, it does what's called retrograde ejaculation. It goes back into the bladder. So they did this study where they looked at a whole bunch of women after orgasm. They looked at women who ejaculate after orgasm, and they looked at women who don't ejaculate with orgasm. And there's a property in female ejaculate called PSA, which is also in semen, prostate stimulating antigen, and it's called PSA. And so the women who ejaculated, they looked at their urine after orgasm, and there was no PSA in their urine. The women who did not ejaculate, they looked at their urine after orgasm, and there was PSA in their urine. So the idea is that all women ejaculate, except most of us, it goes back up into our bladder. So all women can learn to ejaculate, and there are actually people who teach this. I'm not one of them. But the idea is that we tend to clench and squeeze in when we reach orgasm. And if you relax and push out, almost as if you're urinating when you orgasm, because it does come from the urethra, that you can learn to ejaculate. And you can tell us, Kathleen, women who do ejaculate with orgasm say that they have much more intense orgasms that way than when they don't.
But I'm thinking, just listening to you, that if you're a woman and you've never done that before, you would think that you're going to end up urinating.
Right. And it's embarrassing and scary. And so that's important to know, is that it's totally normal.
Okay, Kathleen, did that help?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's inconvenient. It's messy. Right. You have to prepare before sex. You have to put something down because, I mean, it does kind of make a mess of the bed.
Yeah, it can.
All right, thank you. Yvette Skyping from her husband's home office in Tampa, Florida. Hi, Yvette.
Hi, Oprah. How are you?
I'm good.
I actually have two questions for Dr. Berman. My first question is, my husband says that I perform oral sex once a year if he's lucky. Do you have a technique for giving oral sex that's easier and takes less time, and then I would be fine doing it a lot more often? Because I really don't have a problem. It just takes so much time.
How much time are we talking?
Well, I mean, 15 minutes.
Right. Well, that's not so much time, but it does feel like a long time when you're doing something that you're not enjoying.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. All right, so one thing you can do is do other kinds of stimulation first until he's gotten much closer, or do oral sex for a while first, then go on to do manual stimulation or something else, and then go back to oral sex so that you're not doing only oral for the entire 15 minutes. And then you can also ask him what turns him on. For a lot of men, it's visual, so, watching porn or watching you while you perform oral sex is stimulating to them, or talking dirty to them is stimulating to them. So there are things that can move the process and make the arousal more intense, but 10 to 15 minutes is, it's not the average. The average is 7 minutes, but it's not extremely long. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. It's funny you said that about talking. My second question is that my husband feels like he's in a silent movie when we're in bed, and he wants me to talk dirty. How can I become more comfortable in talking dirty and get over the embarrassment?
Yeah, and it's something that a lot of women feel around this, and a lot of men enjoy. You can start by just using nonverbal feedback, moaning, saying that feels good when he's doing something that you enjoy. A lot of women find it easy to just give a running commentary. You're doing this to me now. They just sort of say what's happening, or they say, that feels really good. Those are easy ways to start. The other thing you may want to do is read some erotica out loud and practice using those words, and maybe even read it to him and practice that, because it's more about the practice and the fear that you're going to seem foolish, or the inhibitions. I don't know.
That you're going to say the wrong thing.
Are you going to say the wrong thing?
Oh my God, I said the wrong thing. Yeah.
I don't think it's easy to say the wrong thing unless you bring up another guy's name or something. As long as it's positive,
yeah.
You know, they're happy. But I think also it's sort of that nice girl thing. It comes from those earlier messages, you know, that it's sort of.
I love it. Her husband says I'm in a silent movie.
Yeah, he does say that.
Yeah. So start off just like moaning
in a silent movie.
Yeah.
But we do the moaning, we do the things that you said. I think he wants to take it to another level.
Right. So have you ever watched porn with him?
Oh yeah,
Erotica?
we've been together for over 20 years.
So you've seen what the women say on those movies?
Yes.
That's probably what he's wanting you to say.
Yeah.
And what?
And that's what she's saying. She's saying, I feel ridiculous saying that.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. That's, you know, I really feel like our sex life is great. We have a great sex life. The moaning and it feels great. But I know he's looking to take it to another level. And I am having a really, really hard time with that. I just, you know, saying some of those really expressive, crazy stuff.
What does it make you feel? What's the story you have about what it would be saying about you?
Maybe, I don't know. I just, I get embarrassed. I feel like he's going to judge me. Maybe that he's going to judge me.
And what you're really afraid of is that you're judging yourself. And what's really going on is somebody from earlier in your life is judging you. And you've taken that on yourself. So about your sexuality. So there's some key people or person in your life that played a fundamental role in your sexual development, that taught you that, you know, that judged you around it, around being too free, around being too natural, around being too expressive, around owning your sexuality too wholeheartedly and aggressively. And that's the voice that's playing in your head that you're projecting onto him, because he's sitting there saying, let's go for it. He's not going to judge you at all.
No.
It's you who's judging yourself. And really what's happening is that you're allowing that little girl to judge yourself. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Yeah.
So think about, we don't have to get into it right now, but think about who that person was and what those messages were, and write them down and really own them, and decide whether you want to keep owning those messages as yours.
I'm going to do that. I really am. I'm going to do that.
Well, Yvette, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for Skyping in.